iOS and Android.
Now at 5, new laws in Kansas could mean big changes for National Guard families, fire victims, and infrastructure security. Plus, a Supreme Court ruling clears the way for deportations under a wartime law. And
President Trump says he's open to negotiating as trade partners brace for global reciprocal tariffs set to take effect within hours. I'm Erica Brown in Washington with more on those tariffs as lawmakers push for answers on the impact.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
voters in some Missouri and Kansas communities are heading to the polls to vote on a variety of issues impacting schools, taxes, and local government. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. In Carthage, voters will decide on Prop A, which would create a children's services fund. The Carthage School District is also asking voters to pass 2 issues, and voters are deciding the race in Carthage for mayor and several open council seats. KOAM Samantha Walker joins us live from the courthouse in Carthage with more.
Dow, voters in Carthage have a lot to decide on for the future of their city government. Not only are they voting for a new mayor, but also city council members in 5 wards. The Carthage City Council has been tumultuous in the past year. The position of mayor is open following the city council impeaching former mayor Dan Rife in October. David Bren Flanagan and Ed Hardesty are both running for the position. There are also several council seats open as members resign and former council member Tiffany Cossey was recalled in November. And just a reminder, polls close in just about 2 hours. If you're still in line when polls close at 7, stay in line. You still have the right to vote. Live in Carthage, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
All right, Samantha, thanks. We'll check back with you at 6. Voters are deciding local issues in a number of other communities across the area. Those include school bonds, park improvements, tax questions, and funding for emergency services. Several communities are also choosing their local government leaders. You can find updated results on those races throughout the evening on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We're also going to have results on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 and on KOAM News at 10. State of Kansas has passed a number of new laws within the last month. Through one new law, dependents of National Guard members will now have some extra educational benefits. Another new law protects victims of fires started by electric company equipment. Lastly, a new law criminalizes unauthorized access and damage to critical infrastructure facilities, including newly defined telecommunication structures. We're going to have more on new laws in the Sunflower State coming up tonight at 6. Right now, though, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a beautiful Tuesday for us today. We're kind of in a lull with severe weather, which is good. We need it after a very active week last week. It's going to stay mild over the next couple days. We could get a random sprinkle or shower in here, especially tomorrow night, but most of you will end up staying on the dry side. The winds will start to increase a bit, and temperatures really stay fairly warm as we go through the next several days. Looking outside, 64 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh. We have a few 70s once you get down through northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Through the evening, 60s, 50s. We only bottom out near 50 later on tonight, so it's not going to get near as cold. We have pretty much clear skies, but you can see some clouds starting to increase to our northwest. So, of course, we'll look at the rest of the work week here in just a bit.
Check with you in a few. President Trump signed an executive order this afternoon aimed at boosting the coal industry. It comes as his new reciprocal tariff policy is set to take effect. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill, where the president's top trade representative testified that the president's strategy is already bearing fruit.
With less than a day before President Trump's reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries are set to take effect, the White House says he's open to negotiating with trade partners.
These are highly tailored deals. Right now, Japan is flying here to make a deal. South Korea is flying here to make a deal, and others are flying here.
The Trump administration also says a 104% retaliatory tariff against China will take effect at midnight, making good on the president's threat to punish Beijing unless it withdraws retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. China responded, saying it will, quote, fight to the end.
Countries like China, who have chosen to retaliate and try to double down on their mistreatment of American workers, are making a mistake. President Trump has a spine of steel.
Here on Capitol Hill, President Trump's trade chief defended the administration's sweeping tariffs during a Senate hearing as lawmakers pressed him on the impact.
The president's strategy is already bearing fruit. Nearly 50 countries have approached me personally to discuss the president's new policy and explore how to achieve reciprocity.
U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer told senators that negotiations to lower the reciprocal tariffs will be on a country-by-country basis. Lawmakers on both sides expressed skepticism.
Trump's tariffs will push millions of workers out of jobs and push prices up at the same time.
Whose throat do I get to choke if this proves to be wrong?
Some businesses see the positive. In Mississippi, shrimpers say tariffs on imported seafood can help level the playing field.
It's coming from countries that don't have minimum wages. It's driven our price so far down that a lot of the shrimpers can't even go out and work.
According to the Southern Shrimp Alliance, tariffs have pushed imported shrimp prices up 50 cents per pound. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
After 5 days of steep losses, Wall Street opened higher today, up more than 1,000 points before retreating to negative territory in the afternoon. A major decision from the U.S. Supreme Court on President Trump's immigration policies. The High Court says the administration can resume deportations using the Wartime Alien Enemies Act. But the justices imposed limits, ruling the administration will have to offer some due process to allow these detainees to challenge the allegations they're gang members. At least 58 people are dead and 160 others injured after a roof collapse at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic. Nearly 12 hours after the collapse, crews were still pulling survivors from the rubble at the one-story Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo. A crowd was attending a concert in the club when the roof collapsed after midnight. It wasn't immediately clear what caused that collapse. Still ahead, why it might soon become harder to get a particular tea.
There's a shortage brewing in one of the hottest drinks on the market. I'm Jared Hill with what's making matcha even more rare.
And next in Health Watch, a teen's rare diagnosis, a promising drug trial, and a family's fight for more time. This story coming up.
For the 12 Home Outlet.
Topping today's Health Watch, a new study raises red flags about AI's role in healthcare. Researchers at Mount Sinai found artificial intelligence bots treating patients with the exact same symptoms gave different advice based on the person's demographic and socioeconomic background. Wealthier patients were steered toward diagnostic procedures in cases where poorer patients were told they didn't need more testing. AI is trained using information from people, so experts say it's vulnerable to the same biases. 2/3 of minors in the U.S. live in areas with abortion restrictions. A study by Rutgers finds 7 million girls ages 13 to 17 live in states with abortion bans, limits, or parental involvement requirements. Doctors caution that could lead to more young people seeking care outside their home state. A newly approved treatment is giving hope to patients who suffer from a rare disease. Derek James introduces us to a Minnesota family who took part in the research.
17-year-old Connor Martin keeps busy.
I play violin. Right now, I play softball.
And he loves going to Minnesota Twins games to see his favorite player. But a little more than 3 years ago, Connor and his family were thrown a curveball.
And then it just felt like he just was sort of slowing down, and I just noticed his reaction time was slower than usual. He was perhaps more clumsy than usual.
His blood work and other tests were normal, but his mom Jessica kept pushing for answers to his medical mystery. Connor was quickly referred to children's neurologist Dr. Jessica Goldstein.
There's a lot of detective work really looking for clues or key elements that kind of point you in one direction or the other.
Within a few months, a diagnosis. Connor had Niemann-Pick disease type C, or NPC.
How did it feel when Dr. Goldstein was able to say, this is what it is?
It was terrifying.
NPC is a rare, inherited, progressive, and fatal neurodegenerative disease. Connor's mom, Jessica, pushed for him to be part of a clinical trial for a new drug called Miplyffa. Since starting the medicine in late 2022, Connor has made improvements.
Really did stabilize things for him pretty quickly. We've seen improvement in swallowing, in speech, and energy level.
The medicines have definitely given us more time and more memories and more opportunities to just enjoy our child.
Which for Connor includes being in the stands for Twins opening day.
We have an okay team this year.
For these rare diseases, gene therapy is really the end game. These treatments are hopefully going to buy us all the time we need to get there.
As his mom continues to swing for a cure.
Derek James, CBS News.
The medicine Connor takes is one of 2 new FDA drugs. The drugs were approved within weeks of each other last fall as part of a multi-pronged treatment for NPC. Letting your mind wander can actually be a good thing. A study by the Society for Neuroscience found when people performed simple tasks, letting their minds wander didn't hurt their performance. In some cases, they actually performed better, in fact. But researchers say more complex tasks require a more focused mind. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, matcha is booming, but could a global shortage leave your favorite green drink off the menu?
Plus, our temperatures are going to warm up a bit over the next couple days. We're going to look at that coming up.
CBS celebrates Earth Day.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. Temperatures not bad. Most of us have been into the mid to upper 60s over the afternoon. Quite a bit of sunshine, not windy, so it looks pretty good. Great shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's go through your evening. We're going to get a few mid and upper level clouds sliding back through the 60s into the 50s. We only are going to bottom out at about 50 or 51 degrees. Pittsburgh 65, 71 in Miami, 61 in Monette. Neodesha is sitting at 66 degrees. Let's go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 66. South winds at about 5 to 10. Now the winds are going to get moving a little bit as we get into Wednesday. So we're going to have gusts kind of 25, 30, maybe 35. At times. We get a weak front, drops through tomorrow night, then the winds switch out of the north, but still breezy. Gusts 25 to 30, maybe 35 miles per hour at times with our next little wave. You can see a few little clouds increasing to our north and to our west, but overall, pretty calm weather pattern. We have a weak wave right up across the northern parts of the Rockies, another little guy right behind it, but thankfully, after tons of rain last week, numerous rounds of severe weather, we don't have to worry about that this week, which is always good news. All right, let's go through time. We're going to stop this tomorrow morning. Here's about 6 a.m. We get some clouds rotating through, and especially on the Missouri side, there may be a random sprinkle. Those southerly winds starting to increase, keeping our temperatures up. So we'll only drop off to about 50 or 51 tonight. Kind of mid and upper level clouds throughout the day. So by the noon hour, we're sitting 65 to about 68 degrees. So a pretty good warm up, already warmer than what we are seeing outside right now. By the afternoon, I think most of us 73, 74, maybe even 75 once you get into our southern counties. Notice the winds switch out of the northwest, a weak little front. With the front, we're going to get some clouds. We could get a random shower or a random sprinkle. Not a big deal. This is going to push on through by Thursday morning. Again, isolated little shower. And then Thursday afternoon looks pretty good. Temperatures, again, right around 71, 72 degrees, which is right about where we should be for this time of the year. We have these northerly winds, so a little bit cooler as we head into Friday morning. Overnight lows into the lower 40s. All right, your day planner on Wednesday, 53 in the morning, 69 by noon. High temp, 73 degrees. Let's go down the road. We're in a northwest flow, meaning the flow kicks out of the northwest, meaning Canada. Here's that weak system passing by. The next couple days, we stick with that northwest flow all the way into the weekend, meaning our temperatures will kind of stay in check. Another system shoots across the northern parts of the U.S. as we head into the weekend. But the overall trend here is not much going on for us as we go through about the next week. Then things will start to get moving again. 73 tomorrow, 71 Thursday. Let's go 63 on Friday. But look at the weekend. After a very gloomy, wet, cold weekend, highs into the 40s. Mother Nature, she's going to repay us this weekend.
We deserve it, don't you think? Good chance to get outside. Thanks, Doug. Coming up with Easter around the corner, we're going to reveal the top treats filling baskets nationwide.
From Joplin.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, if you're looking to buy a home this spring, well, Realtor.com finds that the number of homes on the market is up from a year ago, surging more than 28% last month. Listings jumped between 44% and 68% in large metro areas, including Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. There's a shortage brewing in the hottest tea trend on the market. Matcha, the bright green powder used to make drinks and food, is in short supply. Now the 24% tariff on all Japanese imports set to go into effect tomorrow is expected to make matcha even more expensive. Jared Hill has a look at how companies are coping.
For Sylvia Mella,
It takes 2 minutes to make a matcha.
making matcha is like meditation.
That's a really relaxing and it's a real break for me.
But the owner of New York-based Serate Tea House, like the rest of the tea drinking world, is bracing for a shortage in the bright green tea powder. A viral thirst for drinks and snacks infused with matcha powder and shared across social media is driving up demand.
The color, it's a very bright green color, very beautiful color. Matcha became a huge trend.
We're in uncharted territory.
Importer Taylor Cowan says his Chicago company Spirit Tea noticed the shortage late last year. The problem? The young, soft tencha leaves used to make matcha are only plucked in the first few days of the spring harvest season. There are only so many farmers, and it takes an hour to dry and grind leaves to make enough powder for a container this small.
Japan is absolutely at its critical mass in terms of matcha that can be produced.
The Japanese government is trying to increase production to meet the growing demand, but Cowan has other reservations about popular consumption.
It has so many different facets which we're losing in the sort of fast, convenient, crosses the counter under 12 ounces of milk context.
The matcha latte is the most popular drink here at Mella's shop. She's urging customers to drink the highest grade matcha the traditional way, with just water, trying to educate with every cup.
The process of making it is still traditional.
You're kind of getting people to leave with not just the matcha, but a little bit of knowledge about the process. Helping a 1,000-year-old tradition survive social media success. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Importers say one concern is that if demand continues to outpace Japan's ability to produce matcha powder, outside companies might try to pass less expensive green tea powders off at matcha prices. The regulations for what qualifies as matcha is not as strict outside of Japan. Instacart has published its latest Easter report revealing the most popular sweet treats customers ordered for celebrations last year. Reese's took the top 2 spots with its peanut butter eggs and cups. In third place, Cadbury's chocolate mini eggs. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, a new technology that can protect offices, stores, and other public spaces from airborne disease. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to check back in live with Samantha Walker in Carthage to break down 2 school issues on the ballot, plus the flooding that forced a Missouri high school to postpone prom. And Missouri Southern and Pitt State play separate double headers again today. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Today, Pitt State hosted its 55th annual Math Relays, bringing together more than 850 high school students from 52 schools all across Kansas and Missouri and Oklahoma. The event featured intense timed relays where teams of 4 competed. Educators highlight the event as a valuable opportunity for students to tackle complex problems without using modern technology. Math skills apply to a number of fields, including meteorology.
Yeah, and it is good training for your brain on how to go through problems
I'm
like
sure.
that.
Some training in logic and that sort of thing. You have a minor in math,
I do.
think?
I don't really use it, but I do have it.
Well, show us some numbers anyway.
I will. 73 tomorrow, 71 on Thursday. A little cooler Friday, but all week looking pretty good.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. Let's make it a great evening.